Ladies and gentlemen, of the host of the Tron podcast, your host Rashad Woods. Today, I have a very special guest. Absolutely an honor and a pleasure to be able for this man to carve out time out of his very busy schedule because he doesn't have to do so. You've seen him before, you haven't seen me, but this is Mr. Gibson. Thank you so much for your time. So first of all, your accomplishments speak for themselves. You have a very popular YouTube channel. You give all sorts of health, medical, skin advice. I'm going to leave everything else up to you because I'm just honored and humbled enough to have you on here.
Okay, well, that's quite the intro. Thank you.
So, first of all, how did you get involved as being an esthetician in your profession?
Like a lot of things, that happen for a lot of people. I had skin issues as a young person that didn't get cleared up the traditional way. So, long story short, when I got into my 20s and I was still having cystic acne and there was not anything I hadn't tried already medically, I found holistic answers through diet and a change in the skincare products I was using, really understanding all of that. So that led me to, be trained in it. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And over the years, just helping people. I was in the corporate world for a long time. And I wrote a book in 2004 on my struggles with skincare and acne and how the Accutane and all the other stuff that's traditionally had failed me. And so it was really a book about how I conquered it. It wasn't really a how to conquer it book.
For sure.
But it resonated with a whole lot of people.
Wonderful.
So long story short, I got on television with it. And once I was on TV talking about it, that's about the same time the stuff with overuse of antibiotics became kind of in the mainstream media and MRSA and all that stuff.
Right.
So the timing was really right for what I was talking about, gut health and probiotics and the stuff that's in skincare that's harmful and more holistic approaches. So I just took off. And then, for about 10 years, I was hot and heavy with that. Like, I was on television. And then, that was in my 40s then. So now I'm 61. In 2018, I decided I wanted to get back into being on camera, but I didn't necessarily want to do television.
Exactly.
So I started my YouTube channel, and it's just really grown a whole lot. And on there, I talk about skincare products. I formulated 3 skincare lines.
Okay.
So actually, I have the background for the ingredients as well. So on that channel, I review products. Obviously, I talk about ingredients. I talk about diet. More and more, I talk about diet and fitness. And the role that they played, because people see me and they're like, you don't look 60 anything.
I was going to avoid saying that because
even in this bad lighting in my house right now, which is really bad lighting.
Yeah.
When I'm out and about, people are just shocked.
As many times as I saw that people say that to you, I wanted to avoid saying that, but I was waiting for like the catch. And then when I was reading about your bio, it's like 37 years. I'm like, 37 years of what? I'm like 37 years old.
Just hit 38 years of doing this. And the funny thing is there's an entire Reddit dedicated to me at my age in the conversation around, am I lying or not? So there's a Reddit on it. And when I first started talking about how old I was, it wasn't a feature of the channel. I just got on the channel to talk about how to have a great skincare routine, how to reverse sun damage, all the typical things that you would hear from dermatology or a medical esthetician. And then one video, I talked about how old I was.
And then it
set off a firestorm. Like, I was 56 and I was talking about how to take care. Skincare for the neck was the video.
Right. Yeah.
How to skincare for the neck, because it gets left out of a lot of skincare routines. That was the premise of that video. And I mentioned how old I was in there and that I didn't have like turkey neck or that mottled skin. I still don't. Or the weird texture crepiness. I don't have any of that.
Right.
And they went wild.
They're like, no way.
They're like, you're lying. People started, it was a Google search. I mean, it helped the channel out tremendously because all that controversy, people want to see what was going on and they're going to get on there and start watching the videos. And
oh my goodness.
Initially about the age, and then I want to do what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
So it became a thing. It's still a thing. Anytime I still have detractors on there. I've shown my passport on. They're like, you need a birth certificate. I'm like, I'm not putting my birth certificate on the internet.
Absolutely not.
I'm not putting my driver's license on the internet. I'll show you my passport and I'll cover the number. You can see my picture along with
date of birth.
Age.
Right.
And so, Wikipedia is after me to do a wiki, and we're going to do that.
How does that work anyway, by the way? Like, what did they contact you? Does somebody like
somebody wants to do one on you? They can do one on you without your permission, but a lot of times now, what they do For accuracy, someone that does those will contact you and say, hey, you're a big enough name that
Okay.
you really should have one of these, because then you can control that the information is legitimate, because it has to be verified. Everything's verified on Wiki, right?
Okay. Yes.
So, or they'll kick it off.
Right.
You have to have verification. And so, yeah,
That's the next step of evolution.
I'm going to do it. I don't really want to do it. Like I just want to do my videos and help people with it. But, it goes with the territory. And
It's awesome.
But when I found out there was a Reddit, I found out because somebody commented on a video. I need that. What video was that where you show your passport, your ID, and your age? Because there's an entire Reddit about you not telling the truth
Dedicated
about
just to you and your age.
And there's another Chris Gibson that's
so
a politician.
funny.
There are 2 or 3 of us. Another one's an athlete and is an author. So I've sort of started shortening my moniker to Chris G. For that reason, we're making that transition more and more, where it's just Chris G. So the guy's not in politics anymore,
Right.
so that's kind of fallen off.
Okay.
I'm sure that he just loved during his heyday, because he got a lot of media attention, that I was coming up instead of him. Some Acne guy keeps coming up, because that was when I had the book out.
Yeah.
The book was out, and so here's this politician in New York that wants all this press, and people look him up, and guess who they find? Me.
Oh my goodness.
I'm talking about acne free in 3 days. I'm sure in TV shows everywhere, I'm sure he was like, I can't change my name.
Yeah, right.
So, it's just been a thing.
That's hilarious. So, I guess that's fantastic.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's unique.
It's funny to me.
First of all, kudos to you for how long you take care of yourself, and more importantly, willing to share this information with other people. I thought what was very fascinating is skincare is so personal. And usually, when people first start getting acne, they automatically think I'm not clean enough. So what are some of the misconceptions about
That's the biggest mistake?
Oh my gosh, man. I mean, and we've all went through it, man. Like you start abusing your skin and you'll take the harshest of products. So for people who do have struggle with skin issues, or people who are trying to pass around family information, what's the best tools to really get a good baseline to have healthy skin?
Well, if you have oily skin or acne prone skin, you certainly don't want to over dry it, because it just makes your oil glands produce more oil.
Okay.
And the issue where acne comes from is we all have this bacteria on our skin. Everyone has the bacteria that is the root cause of acne. The problem is that in some individuals, their immune system is sensitive to it. So if you got a lot of oil, that's what that bacteria does. In fact, that's its job, is to digest oil on the skin. That's what it does. So we're not an oil slick.
Okay.
Because just think about it. If your skin is producing oil and sweat all the time, you would be a mess.
For sure you would.
So something has to be going. So there has to be some sort of process with that keeps balance. And when the acne bacteria gets out of balance, it turns on the immune system, especially if it's down in a pore and it gets trapped. People with acne prone skin, can tell you our skin oil is very thick. It's not thin. So the premise of Accutane and how that worked was it shut down the oil glands and changed the lipid profile in the liver and made that oil that you did produce much thinner. Let's just put it that way. It's just there's technical medical stuff we could talk about, but thinner. Right. So that it didn't block as many pores and it was able to be washed away.
Yeah.
So like you said, most products back then and today labeled for acne are very, very harsh and drying.
Oh my goodness.
And if you do that, that's, not to pick on any brands. There's a brand out there. We don't hear too much about them anymore. It could just be me. That was sold on television that, celebrities got behind it. People will know what I'm talking about.
I have a feeling.
Yeah. It starts with a P and ends with a E.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the problem was people would get those products and they would start using them and they would see a difference. But what they didn't know was that as their skin got dried out, these little flakes stayed on the skin.
Yeah.
And blocked more pores. And then they would have what they call the honeymoon phase with these products. And then they would have worse breakouts.
Oh my goodness.
So I was talking about that. It was big. That was a big brand in the 2000s.
Right. About 17, 18 years ago.
There's a difference between an occasional pimple and outright cystic acne.
Okay.
And so the problem I had with those products was they didn't differentiate. A person with an occasional pimple, you can apply a spot treater the minute you start to feel the little tingle or pain in the nerve and get rid of it. People with cystic acne, it's much deeper, it's harder to reach, and so you do not want to trap any oil in the pores because that's what leads to the infection and then the immune response, and then it can lead to scarring that you see on folks. So I have couple of those scars myself. So So yeah, so you don't want to over dry it. You want to minimize the bacteria. So salicylic acid, face washes are really good. Gentle. They need to say gentle. If your skin at any time feels dry, squeaky clean, it's too clean.
Really?
By that I mean it's too dried out.
Oh,
You
no.
want your skin to feel hydrated when you're done, not that squeaky. I used to do the same thing before I figured all this stuff out. So, and different products work on different skins differently.
Oh,
So you have to try 3 or 4 face washes where you get one where your skin feels clean and calm and not dried out and tight, stretchy tight, because you're gonna produce way more oil, and that's what we don't want. Because the oil gland's not on the outside of your skin; it's underneath the layer. So if you've got oil factory going on under, dead dry skin, that's a recipe for a breakout.
Well, the other thing that happens too, especially if you're African American, such as myself, it's hair bumps. The hair follicles have it's such a brutal existence.
We've been talking a lot about melanin skin on the channel. It's a brand I work with, which I can mention that was fun. Slow Melanin. They're out of Atlanta. They're specifically formulated for folks of darker complexions because of that very problem.
Oh my gosh.
And some of the products can lighten the skin.
Yes.
So if you're using an acne product on just one part of your skin, like for razor rash, or you're going to have lighter skin than you have everywhere else. So we talk about natural ingredients, which I love that their products are like that because they use turmeric, which is a very, very calming in of itself, antioxidant, but it helps to blend out those darker areas. And they've got formulations specifically for ingrown hairs.
Okay.
So
did I know that?
I get them too. I have one right now I'm fighting right here. It's one reason I keep facial hair, because I learned the way my pores are very tiny and the hair follicles get easily caught under them. So I can't clean shave. That was something I used to learn a long time ago. I had 5 o'clock shadow in the 90s when it wasn't popular. My mom would go, "Why don't you shave?" Because I'm going to get a breakout if I do that.
Right.
The hairs will get caught and it's not worth the trouble. So I walked around. Now it's very popular to have that.
Oh, for sure.
But I tell guys, if you have ingrown hair issues, don't shave or just clip. Yeah. Leave the hair outside the pore, and you're less likely to have those.
So issues. It doesn't get trapped under the thought.
So it doesn't get trapped under the skin.
Right.
Because blade shaving for a lot of folks that have that issue is a problem. The blade goes across the hair. The hair is now cut at an angle, so it's pointy. Right. And all it has to do is get caught under the edge of the pore, and it will curl under instead of coming out.
I can't use a razor myself. I just can't do it.
I gave that up. I still don't.
Yeah, I physically.
When I go and get facials, if I go in and have a professional facial treatment, I have to shave, but I still leave. I did a video on microneedling, the new machine they have, an RF microneedling, and I had to shave. The first time I went in there, I shaved pretty close, and I got a couple of those. And I won't do that again. And they're like, "Well, no, just leave stubble." Yeah. So stubble is where I'm at. That's the shortest it ever is. Okay. It's like a 1. It's like a 1. Like, the razor's set at 1, and that's it. Never a blade. I don't use razor blades.
Well, the crazy part is that it feels great the first day you did it because you have like that boot that really
it exfoliates your skin.
Yeah,
it takes all the dead skin. It does that. There's microblading, which a lot of people use to get, which is fine on the areas where you don't have that thick hair.
Okay.
Like that is a treatment, non-invasive treatment that removes dead skin. It's a blade. If you go in and have it done, it's the same thing. They take the blade just across the top of the skin, and it takes that outer skin layer off.
Okay.
So it's like a skin peel.
Really?
But yeah, same thing. If you use that and to shave the hair off, you're shaving the hair off at an angle. Okay. Like it cuts that hair. Just think of it as like a needle. Right. Now that's easier to get caught under.
Absolutely.
That's what razor rash is too. When you take that top part of the skin around hair follicles on the face is often tight and raised. Yeah. So when you go across it like that, you're cutting the very top of the skin layer off. And which is why you can get an instant rash. That's what that is.
I did not know that.
So, shaving is a human invention. Grooming is great. I promote it, Yeah. Good grooming is what you should do. But sometimes we take it too far.
Yeah. And there's there's so many products out there that kind of sell that they have the secret sauce, and sometimes they're not from qualified people.
And do not put a depilatory on your face. The depilatory, do not put Nair or something to do. Don't do that.
People
do that. and don't do it.
It's only meant for legs, right? So, like, from my understanding.
Well, now they have formulations for everything, but to keep it light and not gross, I had a friend who used it, where.
Oh.
And it was designed for that. Bought a product that's for that, and let's just say he shed skin for about 2 weeks
Oh.
because he had a reaction to that. So you can imagine how painful that was.
Oh my gosh.
So I just tell people I don't recommend those things. If you use them like on your bum, guys, and you don't get breakouts from it, it's fine. I get it. But at some point, I'm a holistic esthetician.
Yeah.
First, test that out on a really small area.
Yeah.
And make sure you're not gonna have a reaction to it.
I think sometimes we also expect to, we open up the bottle, we don't look at the side effects, and we just apply it to the
Or that stuff can be really, like, he had a bad reaction.
Oh, it's
like
terrible.
He had to go to the doctor for it.
That's
terrible. And I'm like, well, you didn't patch test it. He's like, well, how do you patch test that? The same way you do anything. Yeah. Right here. And if that skin can't take it, your sensitive area sure can't take it.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah.
That's a harsh lesson in life. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we let society dictate a lot of things sometimes that are not exactly good for us.
So
just the trends.
Oh, absolutely. And then the internet doesn't help either, right? Because now you have everybody who's swore up and down this is for you. There's one guy in particular, and like he's like really like top line in shape, and he does all like he's a muscular African American gentleman. He's like on Instagram a lot, and he talks about how he applies like he puts a banana peel on his face or something like that. I don't know if you've seen that guy before.
Not yet.
Okay, yeah, I don't know his name, and he's the guy looks like an Adonis. So I didn't know. I just threw that one out there. So.
Well, banana enzymes. I did a whole series of DIY masks, excuse me, that were made out of different things like avocado, banana. Okay. Those things are not good. Lemon is not good for your skin. Lemon juice, lemon, none of that. But, there is some benefit to banana. There's an enzyme in banana that helps loosen dead skin cells without irritation. Again, though, you need to test that.
Right.
Anything, because people have food allergies too.
True, very true.
Like if you have allergies to like strawberries, which is kind of common, and you make a strawberry mask or buy anything that's strawberry,
you're done.
Oil is in, you're going to have issues. So, yeah.
So, the best practices for diet as far as getting the healthiest skin possible, because again, you look fantastic at 61 years old.
The less sugar, the better.
Okay.
Right off the bat. Okay. The less processed foods, the better.
Okay.
The less seed oils, the better.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I've done some cooking videos that did really well. I should probably do more. Where I use avocado oil, olive oil. Like I take a tablespoon of olive oil at least once a day.
Oh, wow.
With a dash of salt. And it's good olive oil. It's not, you got to watch it because there's a lot of oils that are treated on the market. You want pure, cold pressed, not blended with anything else oil.
Okay.
And it needs to be fresh. So you got to pay attention to the expire dates on olive oil. Although when oils expire, usually you can taste it. They don't taste as good anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are also good oils for the skin. I've done a lot of videos on skin oils that have just done really well. Frankincense, myrrh, black seed oil. What else? Castor oil, big one.
Really?
They use that in skincare products. Yeah, castor oil. Not as a laxative anymore.
Okay.
My parents' days, my mother used to tell horror stories. Horror stories about castor oil being given to you as a laxative.
Oh my gosh.
And how disgusting it was. I personally never tasted it, but as for a skin emollient, it's really, really good.
Okay. So does it even boil down to, does your approach even tell people like what's the best shampoos? And I only ask that because it has a huge effect on your skin.
It depends on, shampoo, when I talk about it, I haven't done one of those in a while. Mm-hmm. It really has to do with your scalp and how healthy it is. Like if you're having breakouts, folliculitis, those type of things, then a shampoo like Nazoral that has ketoconazole and it's going to be helpful. Tea tree oil is going to be helpful. Anything that beats down that fungus and bacteria that causes that, which is contagious, by the way. A lot of people come to me they've never had a rash on their face or on their scalp before, and then once you go to a barber, don't you, or you go to a salon, yes, you got that from someone else.
For sure.
They used a utensil, a comb, scissors, something scraped your skin, that had that bacteria on it. And now we got to figure out how to get rid of it.
It's crazy because the barber
Wow.
actually.
And then they're really mad. They're like, well, they put it in that stuff, Personally, it should probably go through the same thing that dishware in a restaurant goes through.
Right.
Like it should be a cabinet. It goes in where the temperature is so hot it kills it. But they put it in that liquid.
Mm-hmm.
And if they forget to change out that liquid, the alcohol liquid, then it loses its ability to kill that bacteria.
Right.
Or if they if they sit something down and forget to put it in there, they're cutting one person after the other,
Absolutely. Yeah.
all it takes is one little nick and that bacteria gets going. So, and then there's like some people have dry scalp and dandruff issues. You want something with a nourishing oil. Argan oil is really, really good.
Right.
Products with castor oil, again, really, really good for that. Strengthen the hair follicle, nourish the scalp, that type of thing.
Right.
So yeah, so there's a lot of approaches, and no one thing works for everybody, which I try to emphasize a lot of times on the channel.
Yeah.
And then you have to give something basically 90 days to decide.
90 days? That's a lifetime for skincare because, man.
Well, your new skin takes about that long to get to the surface. So anything you're doing today to help your skin underneath isn't going to really show up for about 3 months. So all those promises, I mean, that doesn't mean if you have dry skin and you use a ceramide cream, you're not going to see some instant improvement. You will. Skin tightener, instant improvements, you will. But when you're talking about changing the texture of the skin, you either have to do something invasive like a skin peel to get all that old skin off where the new skin is showing, or you have to wait for that new skin to show itself over time.
Got it.
So I have people, whenever they start something, they take a selfie first. Take one when you start, take one at 30 days, 60 days, because a lot of times we don't see it's a very slow process.
Right.
Red light therapies, all these therapies work, but you have to be very consistent and you have to give it time for the results to become apparent.
I saw you were a big advocate of that too, as well.
Yeah. I have red light therapy everywhere. I have a body bag. I get in there like, if they find a corpse in there, just take the bag and all. Let's just take the whole thing, or it may make me live forever. I'm not sure. But I have those. I have red light therapy masks. I have a red light therapy tool for hair growth, scalp. If it's red light therapy, someone has sent me something.
Okay.
I have it all, but I've been very consistent with it.
What are the benefits of that for people who aren't familiar with that? I've seen it.
The different wavelengths of light activate different things in the skin. There's intense types of light people probably heard of that help reduce fat. That's really RF. It's really not light. It's radio frequency that does that, heats up the fat cell. It's a whole thing behind that. But red light therapy, basically, the wavelengths of light for skin rejuvenation turn on the little mitochondria in the cells. So it reactivates things like hair follicles. This is at the cellular level.
Oh, wow.
Which is why you got to give it time to see. You're not going to wear the mask once and be 10 years younger than when you take it off.
Got it.
But over time, it will reduce age spots. It will help your melanin production be more even. It will, fine lines and wrinkles will plump out a lot more. It helps. The biggest benefit is that it encourages collagen production naturally in the deeper layers of your skin, which helps pump everything back out.
Got it.
Tightened everything back up. And it's well tolerated by almost everyone. That therapy's been around a long time. It was in sports medicine. You carry these guys off the field.
Yeah.
Like a pretzel, and they're back playing 30 days later. Well, they were using other therapies besides, they're using heat therapy, radio frequency therapy, cold plunge therapy, red light therapy. All these have been in the sports medicine world for many years. It just made it into the mainstream and into skincare. Those benefits made it in later. But yeah, that's how they sped the healing of those folks.
I do have a quick question. That's amazing information because, I hear about it and then you kind of I'm on the fence of if this is effective or not because you hear so much information out there and it's sometimes tough to discern what's
And those devices are not cheap.
No.
They're expensive.
They are very expensive. They are very expensive.
But they work. So
that's amazing. Well, how do you feel about when people try to, because I want to be conscious of your time, for weight loss, when it does to their skin, when people are taking Ozempic and these fat
we've seen what happens.
Absolutely.
It's the same.
The droopy face.
It's not, the drug isn't doing it. It's the quick fat loss that's doing that. We see that in athletes.
Yeah.
We see that in people who've been sick and lost weight. from cancer or some other metabolic issue. When you take shortcuts, you get shortcut consequences.
For sure, for sure.
So,
For sure.
the people you see doing it that haven't had that have used it as a part of a strategy. They'll be on it for maybe a month.
Got it.
Or, they'll work with their doctor to change their diet and their activity plan. And they'll use that because what happens in the traditional weight loss sense is you got to fight your brain too.
Oh my gosh.
So you got to stay motivated. You have to be very consistent. It's the reason, I'm still in great shape is I'm very consistent.
Wonderful.
The only thing I do different these days is sometimes I'll take a couple of weeks off and not do any weightlifting just to make sure that everything is recovered before I get back into it again.
Right.
But when you lose that fat that quickly, your body can't keep up. You lose muscle tone with it, and then you get that pulled in, sunken, and loose skin.
Yeah.
And can you get cosmetic surgery to correct that? You can. Can you get fillers to correct that? You can. But any type of change on a human body that's quickly induced like that, physically quickly induced, causes damage.
Oh, for sure. I can imagine.
It's going to cause some damage and your body's going to have to recover. It's just like chemotherapy is the same thing. It creates a lot of damage. It may cure your cancer, especially now with all the new developments they have on how to attack these diseases from different ways.
Right.
But that's the same thing you see in folks that have been through those therapies. I mean, I remember my mom had diverticulitis.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry to hear about that.
And had to have part of her colon removed. Fortunately, she didn't have to have a bag, but she had part of her. But when she was going through that, she couldn't eat anything.
Yeah.
So she lost a lot of weight.
Imagine.
She looked terrible.
Yes.
She looked worse than she did when her time to go came.
Oh my goodness, that sucks.
She had to recover from that and had to go get magnesium infusions.
Yeah.
It was because they had to do that was a quick
recovery
but it was very traumatic for the body.
Of course it is. Absolutely.
That's open heart surgery.
Yeah.
If you've been around people that have that, it's very traumatic. They don't look good
at all
at first. But when they recover, they look fine and usually better because their circulation has been restored.
Correct.
But the same thing, anything you do quickly is going to have some sort of downtime.
And now it's become more widespread. And you see the photos online, and you're just like, "Wow, that happened to this particular."
Well, you may be skinny, but you look terrible.
Right? Yeah. And I don't judge, right? But it definitely.
But in a strategy, because people see the needle move as a part of an overall strategy of diet and fitness, you're going to be more apt to stick to your changes,
right? Because
you see the problem with weight loss. It's slow.
Yeah.
Unless you do fasting.
Definitely.
Intermittent fasting, the 3-day fasting stuff really does work wonders, but bodies are used to that. I mean,
really,
as a species, we didn't eat every day. We sure didn't eat 3 meals a day. So your body knows how to, So we have all these cortisol and insulin issues these days because we're constantly putting stuff in our mouth.
We didn't eat 3 times a day.
No, ancestors didn't do that. You had to catch and kill it.
That's true.
Or grow it.
That's true.
Unless you ate your neighbor. There were a few of those. There was a tribe that ate babies. It was awful. I just read that story. It was like going, ew.
I don't even want to think about that.
So they had children that they raised for food too.
Oh my God. I mean,
now we have it. It's available. Right. I mean, you go back and look at pictures of people in the 70s.
Right.
I love looking at those. Everybody looks good.
Right. Then even you look at old bodybuilder pictures, right? Like the old bodybuilder pictures.
Yeah, the body fat percentage is much less. Right. So sugar, as to circle back around, sugar, if you're going to eat fats, eat the real thing. Like you're going to have butter, eat butter.
Yeah.
You're going to have cheese, eat cheese. I'm sticking to it. Don't eat the fake stuff. I deal with a lot of people that have adult onset acne, and the minute they take out altered dairy, like 2% this and 1% that, and it goes away.
It's a small
especially for women.
Okay.
And women need the calcium, so eat the real stuff. Just don't eat a whole bucket of it.
Yeah, it's the basic.
Don't eat a stick of butter a day. A lot of it's common sense, but at the other side, we're so brainwashed and sold that to be healthy, you got to eat this weird stuff. If it's weird stuff, I don't eat it. How about that?
Well, you're living testament and proof of it, and and the fact that you're willing to share it with the rest of the world, and all this information, writing books, having a channel, and being on TV and giving all this advice, and looking at the age you are, and that's not a diss, man. Like I said, I want to look like you in 20 years, and it's amazing. And I know I've only scratched the surface of all your accomplishments and everything as well too. And
right?
it's
It's
really,
just been put in practice. The biggest difference for me is I learned early
yeah, yeah.
and I stuck with it. I learned early and stuck with it. Used sunscreen.
Hmm.
Then I had my fair amount of time in the sun, but the diet, people don't realize that your diet also impacts sun damage and how much you get. So there, like if you eat a lot of vegetables, meat, leafy greens, you get a lot of beta carotene in your diet. There are certain enzymes and um, peptides,
Hmm.
amino acids that actually help your skin protect itself.
Oh,
Even
beautiful.
when your sunscreen is, that's why you can see some people don't burn. And then there's genetics, but everybody, I don't care how dark your skin is or how light your skin is, everybody is susceptible to a sunburn
Yeah,
if you're out in it. So
yeah.
you got to protect your skin.
For sure.
Everybody can get a sunburn.
It was really weird the first time I put on sunscreen. I mean, I don't recall doing it that much of a kid, but I didn't really go to the beach a lot. Now getting accustomed to it and having kids, like I wouldn't even think twice about not doing it. But as a kid, I never applied sunscreen because sometimes you were like, why would I have to wear sunscreen, so to speak? It definitely, but I think that this is what you do is so personal for people, and your channel is growing and you have such really great shorts, you have such really great content. What does the future hold for Chris Gibson and what you continue to keep doing?
Well, yeah, we have a small skincare line that we've been messing with for like 5 years.
Okay.
There's like 6 products that are acne based and anti-aging. Hope to do more.
Mhm.
Kind of just been working on that slowly.
Yeah.
It's not at retail. We do have a website where people purchase it.
Right.
Going to be coming out with a new line of supplements,
Wonderful.
collagen peptides, things that I take and talk about a
Hmm.
lot. Vitamin D3 and K2, they're an
Hmm.
important combination for everybody. It helps your body use calcium efficiently.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps it out of your brain and out of your blood vessels and in your bones
Okay.
and everywhere else you need it.
Okay.
So I take that. So it's going to be based on what I do. It's sort of like the Brian Johnson way. It's like all of his stuff. That's the billionaire anti-ager guy
Yeah.
that took blood from his own son. But beyond some of that stuff that he does, the things that he talks about in the diet that give him the really healthy biomarkers, I have the same kind of thing.
Hmm.
Really are those basics. So I want a simple supplement line that
Nice.
is
Beautiful.
those things.
Awesome.
I don't think I'll ever do like a weight loss thing or any of that. But vitamin D3 and K2 from a really good source,
Mhm.
collagen peptides from a good source, turmeric,
Nice.
things like that in your diet really can play a role as supplementation.
Wonderful.
So we're working on that. It's already got a name. It's already registered. It's called Replenish Mode.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. I love the name Replenish
That's
Mode.
bad. I like that.
So really excited about all of that. Lots of good stuff. More on the channel. We're trying to get to 1 million subscribers.
You're well on your way.
Yeah, 5. I think we're at 5.
Okay.
And
Awesome. Awesome.
my online community is about 50,000. I do have one of those,
Hmm.
and then I have Instagram. Between the two, I think that's about 100,000. So, and I don't really do much. We just put the shorts up on there. I'm trying to put more personal stuff into things where people see what I do.
Right.
So that's going to happen. There will be some more vlogging type videos
Right.
where I'm, doing my thing.
Well, I think also too, just because skincare and wellness is so personal, and it's coming from somebody who's an expert. It's not with all respect to it, some Instagram influencer in their 20s, and some of those are very successful. But it's coming from somebody
Yeah.
who knows the science of things, who's experienced it.
Yeah. I don't know that a lot of those guys are very entertaining. I
Hmm.
watch a lot of that. If someone were to ask me who do I look up to, who got to be most like, I like Dr. Mike
Okay.
because it's medical,
Right.
but he's fun to watch.
Right. Right.
So, he's obviously degreed and got a lot of experience and
Right.
he talks about the BS out there too.
For sure.
But he also talks about holistic stuff. So I sort of like how he does with medical.
Right.
I like doing with skincare and the holistic approaches
Oh,
because
wonderful.
some of them work very, very well,
Yeah.
and some of them do not. Some of them are like, don't put toothpaste on your face. Don't put lemon juice on
I've
your face.
seen videos where people talk about
Yeah.
that, and there's one.
Don't do that.
And there was one doctor, and just real briefly, that I love the one, even though they suffered injuries, who discusses sports injuries that takes place, and he actually goes to the detail of the sports injuries athletes suffer from when it happens. I forgot the gentleman's name, but his YouTube channel is very fascinating because he breaks down like the knee injury, the hip injury, the back
Yeah,
injury.
and how the body has to, how much work it has to do to repair it.
Yes, yes, and they'll be
And
like,
why a knee takes, like a broken leg will be done in 6 months, and a knee might take a year and a half.
right,
But to me, the fascinating part is that the body can heal itself. That's the fascinating
it's
thing.
amazing what it does. It
I mean,
absolutely is.
so it really is very resilient. Even skin. I mean, people come to me with a lot of sun damage, especially people in their 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, thinning skin issues, sun damage, that time. So we really work hard to make sure that videos go out every month on how to address those things. A
Wonderful.
little bit repetitive, but
I
new
mean,
people all the time. So
exactly.
they haven't seen it. So it's important for them.
I love the work that you do. I'm so honored that you were willing to carve out time out of your very busy schedule. I hope that my skin is presentable for this episode because I made
It
sure.
looks fine.
Hey, man, but I always make a point of emphasis. I think beyond whether or not somebody wants to look good or bad, people can't forget about being healthy when it comes to their skin and their wellness, right?
Yeah, inside out.
So Chris Gibson, you don't have to come on the Tron podcast, and I really appreciate your presence and time, and I'm looking forward to seeing your continued success. And thank you very much I'm honored and privileged to pick your brain for a few.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Appreciate you, brother. Talk to you soon.